They call me his bride, yet every night my heart beats for someone else in this house. My name is Evelyn Marston, and though the world knows me as the wife of Caleb Marston, the truth is far more fragile and far more dangerous than any vow spoken under the vaulted ceiling of a church. When Caleb proposed to me 4 years ago, I thought I was stepping into a life of stability and love. He was successful, admired in our community, the kind of man who always had the right answer in any conversation. My parents adored him, my friends envied me, and when he slipped that ring onto my finger, everyone said I was the luckiest woman in Willow Creek. But luck is not the same as love, and security is not the same as passion. I learned that slowly, one quiet evening at a time, until the life I was living felt like a play I had been cast in against my will. Caleb is not a cruel man. He provides, he speaks kindly, he ensures appearances are kept. Yet our marriage feels like a painting hung on the wall, beautiful to the eye but lifeless up close. His touches are polite, his kisses fleeting, his mind always half occupied by meetings and figures. In the beginning, I told myself that this was what marriage meant: compromise, patience, routine. But soon I began to feel the hollow echo of something missing, something my body and heart ached for. That missing piece came to me in a way I never expected. Within the very walls of the home Caleb bought for us, a sprawling white house with wide windows and creaking wooden stairs. I should not even say his name, for even thinking it makes my pulse quicken, but his presence lives with me every day. He is here under the same roof. His footsteps drift through the halls. His voice sometimes catches me off guard, and when his eyes meet mine, I feel as though the world pauses to listen. His name is Nathaniel Cross, and he is the one my heart betrays me for. It began innocently, as all forbidden things do. A glance held too long. Fingers brushing when passing a plate at dinner. A voice lowered, softer when addressing me than when addressing anyone else. Those moments were small, fleeting, but they sank deep into me, planting something I could not uproot. I remember one night vividly. Caleb was away at a late meeting. I sat in the kitchen, a cup of coffee cooling in my hands, when Nathaniel walked in. The air seemed to shift as he stepped closer, his eyes steady on mine. He asked if everything was all right, and though I answered yes, my throat was dry, my hands trembling. Nothing happened. Nothing could happen. Yet when he left the room, I felt as though my body had lived through a storm. From that moment on, silence became its own language. We spoke little, yet everything was said in the way his gaze lingered or the way my breath caught whenever he entered a room. Caleb remained blind, or perhaps willfully ignorant. He went about his life, believing his bride to be content, never seeing the cracks spreading through my heart. Nights grew unbearable. Caleb would fall asleep beside me, his breathing steady, while my eyes stared at the ceiling, my chest aching for Nathaniel. I imagined the sound of his footsteps approaching my door, the creak of the handle turning, the whisper of my name in the darkness. My body betrayed me, warm with longing, restless with need, even as I lay motionless beside the man I had promised to love. There were afternoons when temptation nearly swallowed me whole. Once, when Caleb was called into the city, I found myself in the living room, sunlight pouring through the windows. Nathaniel entered quietly, and suddenly the space between us was heavy, charged. He sat on the arm of the couch beside me, so close our shoulders nearly touched. My heart thundered, my breath came shallow, and when our eyes met, it felt as though the world outside ceased to exist. But then he stood, his voice low. "Caleb will be home soon." The words struck like cold water, a reminder of the walls we could not cross. He walked away, leaving me trembling with both relief and despair. And yet, the more we resisted, the stronger the pull became. Every stolen glance, every silence brimming with unspoken words, drew me closer to the edge. I began to wonder if desire itself was a kind of fate, inevitable, unbreakable, waiting only for the right moment to burst through. It happened as such things often do, not with fireworks but with quiet inevitability. One evening, the house fell into darkness with a sudden summer storm. Rain lashed the windows, thunder rolled, and the power flickered out. Caleb had been delayed at work again, leaving just the two of us in the dim glow of candlelight. I was in the hallway when Nathaniel appeared, his face lit faintly by the flicker of flame. The storm outside seemed to echo the storm within me, wild and unstoppable. We stood there, neither moving, both caught in the weight of everything unsaid. "Evelyn," he whispered, and the sound of my name on his lips unraveled me. I stepped closer, not knowing if I moved of my own will or if something greater carried me forward. My heart pounded, my body alive with a heat I could no longer suppress. For the first time, the space between us dissolved. He reached out, his hand brushing mine, and the world seemed to vanish in that single touch. No vows were spoken, no promises broken aloud, yet in that moment everything changed. The storm raged outside, but the true storm was within me, the storm of giving myself to a feeling I had fought for so long. When Caleb returned later that night, soaked from the rain, the house was calm again. Nothing appeared different to his eyes. But I knew my heart no longer belonged to him, if it ever had. It beat for Nathaniel louder and louder with each passing day. Living under the same roof became both heaven and hell. Heaven, for every fleeting chance to feel the warmth of his presence. Hell, for the constant fear of discovery, the endless restraint that kept us both balanced on the edge of a precipice. I became two women, the bride everyone saw, smiling on Caleb's arm, and the restless soul who lay awake at night, her heart beating for Nathaniel in the darkness. I wondered if Caleb suspected, but if he did, he never said. Perhaps he was content with the image of perfection we presented to the world. Perhaps he, too, lived with secrets I would never know. The truth is, this story has no neat ending. Love like this does not resolve cleanly. I remain Caleb's bride in name, his wife in the eyes of society. But every night, when silence falls and shadows deepen, my heart betrays me still. It races for Nathaniel, the one who is not mine, the one who walks the same halls, the one whose presence makes my body remember what it means to be alive. They call me his bride. But in truth, I am something far more complicated. A woman bound by vows yet undone by desire, a woman who carries within her a secret flame that refuses to be extinguished. And perhaps that is my fate, to live forever between what is seen and what is felt, between the life I promised and the love I cannot let go. Because every night without fail, my heart beats for someone else in this house.